All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to this chat with myself and the one and only Megan from Spike Grooming and Moose Jaw. She's been kind enough to grace us with her presence and chat with me for a few moments just about some grooming understanding and about her business a bit. So, without further ado, I wanted to share personally that I go to Megan and her team myself, and I entrust the dogs that I have in their care. So, in the event that you are in, you know, the works of looking for a new groomer, I know somewhere you could go. Anyhow, so great team, great staff, great services. Go check them out if you want to. But anyhow, what I wanted to move on to and add a little bit of education into this call for anyone watching is if you are able to share with us, Megan, some somewhat common issues that you see with co-care needs and grooming that people misunderstand or come in too late to you to get some assistance. Is there anything you'd love to tell people about how they could, save
Uh,
themselves some headache or discomfort for their animal?
yeah. Um, I feel that the biggest number one thing would be starting your puppy early. I
Mm.
think starting a dog early can make or break their relationship with grooming.
Okay, so I want
Um,
to interject for a second.
yes.
Just for anyone watching, did you know that Megan is actually in a published book as well and talks about this very thing in said book?
I do.
Just in the event that anyone's curious, shoot a comment here and find out which book she's published in. But anyways, proceed.
Thanks. Um, I find that people don't necessarily think that their puppy needs to be done right away, or that's not something I can just bath my puppy at home. I can put my puppy in the kitchen sink for the first month and a half that I have it, or in the tub, and life's completely fine. Yes, those are all great things to do. But a bath at a grooming shop and a bath at home look two very different. They're very different things. The drying process is different. The quality of your shampoo is different. Yes, you want your dog to be able to get used to the water. But another part of grooming that people don't realize is that your dog is learning how to be handled by a different person. So your dog is learning that, hey, this stranger who's being really nice to me can give me a bath and life's okay. The sooner that they learn that, the better the relationship is going to be. I know personally right now, I've been working with a couple of litters of puppies. And by the time they get to that 2, 3, 4 months where we're doing nails and around the eyes and the legs, those puppies are completely trusting because they've had those things done to them. So as a groomer, when I hear someone say, "Oh, I'm getting a puppy," I'm like, "Great, when are your shots up to date?" Because that's when I can get my hands on your puppy and make sure that you can have that fluffy Shih Tzu, Maltese, doodle type look that you're looking for. I can do that if your puppy is trusting and your puppy has had those experiences.
Well, for sure. And it's easy to overlook because someone might not feel like they have to even touch their dog's nails till it's 5 months old when they're getting
Yeah.
long. And you're like, oh, goodness, I wish we
Yeah.
could have touched and had our hands all over them 3 months ago. So
Yeah.
then, like, the longer distance between when we should have started and when you do start is just a significant more amount of work. And they're like, no one touches me there. What are
Yes.
you doing? And then all of a sudden, your
Yes.
job is 10 times as hard as it has to be. But also, the dog's not having a good time necessarily there because they've
No.
never been handled that way before.
And you're not helping your groomer foster a healthy relationship with your dog. You're not helping your dog foster any kind of relationship with another person who's going to be doing things with them. And nails are huge. Nails are huge, absolutely huge. Nails should be done like every 2 to 4 weeks minimum, in my opinion. And I think that a lot of people don't really realize, oh, they're little sharp puppies. But you know what? You take that little bit off and that little bit off, and you're fostering a good relationship with the quick of the nail, which is what grows out when the nail gets too long. And as a
Right.
groomer, I can only take that so far before it starts to bleed.
Mhm.
And that's not good for anybody. So I really want people to know that The sooner that you can get that puppy in, and it doesn't matter the breed, it doesn't matter how often the dog is going to need to be done. Puppies are a little ball of knowledge, and I know for me personally, the little one that I have at home, he absorbs everything 24/7, including being bathed by other people in my shop. He had a whole groom and his mom didn't touch him once because he
Right.
needs to know that too, right?
Yeah, and it even the segue is too that people wouldn't necessarily draw the conclusion is like it's type of stuff also helps to facilitate positive relationships like with veterinarians.
Mhm,
Like because a veterinarian's going to touch the dog in a bunch of different areas that they
mhm,
normally wouldn't. Ears, feet, sanitary area as you like to put it,
mhm.
which is the privates. And then the puppy's been accustomed to that because it's already been maybe groomed to some extent or handled in those areas numerous times by the time they're going in for their yearly checkup as a year and a half old dog
Yeah,
at a vet. It's like you wouldn't think of it, but the dogs who have been handled much less have a much more difficult time because it just doesn't, you don't touch them there and they get
yeah,
uncomfortable when people do. They're
yeah.
like, what are you doing back there? That's weird.
Which is fair. It's totally fair when they're not used to it,
Yeah.
and it makes it sad. And people are like, "Oh, you just want it to make your job easier." It's like, no, I would like the dog on the table not to be super stressed for the hour and a half, 2 hours that I have it. I don't
But
like that.
yeah,
No
but
groomer does.
that also makes me think of like that could be lifelong stress
A
that people
hundred
are
percent.
mitigating, right? So it's like doing a tiny bit like of proactive confidence building around grooming facilities can save the dog a lifetime of stress. Like how many times
Absolutely.
do you see dogs like stressed out of their mind, like yeah, they're maybe not trying to bite you or anything, but you're like, this dog's not enjoying its groom, but like
Yeah.
it's tolerating it. What if we could make the groom enjoyable,
Yeah.
and you ridded your dog of that insecurity for its life, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you frame it that way, people are like, well, I guess, yeah, it makes sense that maybe I should, invest a little bit proactively,
Absolutely.
save my dog a lifetime of stress. Because
Hmm.
how common is it that someone comes with you to a dog that really is not a big fan of grooming? Maybe they're not the worst to groom, but they're just not having an enjoyable time.
No, that they tolerate it. They tolerate it, and that they let you do it. But they're panting.
Right.
They call the prancers, right? They're like, oh, "When am I done? When am I done?" And they're trying to get off the table. Then there's the dogs that hit the fight or flight, which is awful because you
Right.
have to give them a break. And then their mom calls and they're wondering when their dog's going to be done. I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not too sure right now. I gave him about a 15-minute break, and I'm going to try to do his nails again because they need to be done. So I'm going to try
Right.
one more time. So it becomes a delicate balance. So it always excites me when I have puppies that come into the shop that are young to help foster that. It is absolutely huge. The big breeds too. The bigger your dog is going to get, the sooner they need to come. I have next week, I booked in a Newfoundlander, and that dog is a year and a half, and he has never been to a groomer. And
All right. So there's wonderful information that you've shared with us. We want to take a breather for a moment and work away from all this thinking. And I was wondering if you could show me something unique and different, just randomly. Do you have anything on hand?
I do have something. Oh, look.
Oh, it's a bird with a cool
It's
mohawk.
she is a cockatiel, and she is about 1.5, and her name is Luna.
That's cool.
And if I sit down in the evening and she's not close by me, she screams at me because she needs about 5 to 6 hours of human interaction a day, and she will live till about 20.
Oh, that's
Okay?
super interesting. She's like, I'm
Right?
love starved.
You're
Somebody.
love starved, right? Yeah, no,
Somebody.
she's been fine. She gets out lots.
Okay. Well, that's a nice little pattern
Luna break.
interrupt. So I wanted to ask you a handful of questions just about your business. Like, what services do you offer at your salon?
We offer everything that comes to cats and dogs, any size, any breed. We can do almost anything. I do not paint dogs. I do not airbrush things on them, which I had a call about last week. But we offer everything from a brush out to a full standard poodle fancy groom. I am certified and trained, and I know all of the cuts, all of the cuts, all of them.
So like bathing, grooming, nails.
Yes, nails, ear cleaning, baths, blowouts, your fancy clipper work and scissor work, all of that. Anything that you think that a grooming salon should do, I do it.
And then you also said something about cats too. So I don't know necessarily all that many groomers that do cats, but you guys do as well at your
I
facility?
do. Yeah. I have a groomer. Her name is Jennifer. She's amazing. She's been working with cats for about 10 years.
Mm.
I personally had never seen a cat get groomed or anything. And this girl walked into my shop, was like, I groom cats. She showed me her stuff, and then she showed me how she groomed a cat. She can bath your cat and brush out your cat, and she can shave your cat in a lion cut or a half lion cut. There's a whole bunch of cat cuts that I'm still learning.
Mm-hmm.
But it is absolutely great. I could not tell you how many cat calls I would get. I have a cat who's matted and I need help.
Right.
So Jen charges significantly less than your average vet tech would. And a lot of vet techs shave cats because cats are extremely dangerous to shave. Not necessarily from cat to human, but from groomer to cat because of their skin. So having a service provided by such a talented groomer like Jen, I am so honored that she works for me. So she's great.
That's excellent. And it's very kind of unique in the sense of there's not that many people that are offering it, but also
Mhm.
there presumably would be a pretty large demand because there is a lot of cats around.
There's a huge demand, a huge demand. And I always thought that cats clean themselves. They do this, they'll get their own mats out. What I did not learn, what I did not know, and I have learned is that the wider your cat gets or the older your cat gets can significantly affect how they care for themselves.
Mm,
And we have a lot of people who are struggling with cat hair all over the place, or they get this big, beautiful kitten and then they realize that they need to brush it and they don't have time to do that. So then it gets a fancy lion cut, and it's a win win for everybody. So I do not shame people for needing to shave their cat, just like I don't shame people for wanting to shave their dog. Just because your cat is supposed to look away doesn't necessarily mean that that fits your home or your lifestyle.
right.
And that's why I'm very happy that we provide that service.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks for sharing that. Where are you guys located?
We are just on High Street. So I am the very last building. It's actually where the old budget rent-a-car used to be.
Right.
I have very large colored bubbles on the side of my building. I've been coined the bubble girl. I'm okay with that. So
Do you have
bubbles mean clean.
yeah, for sure. Do you have an online presence like Facebook
Um,
or
yeah,
Instagram or
I
anything?
have Facebook. I'm slowly starting to get into the Instagram. It
The
is tricky
Instagrams?
for the Instagrams. It is tricky for me as a groomer to do that because my hands are always on a dog. My hands are on a dog or they're answering a phone. We are a very busy shop.
Mhm.
And I love being so hands on in my shop. So to stop and get that perfect picture is sometimes really tricky. That, and the dog has no interest in standing on that table for an extra 5 minutes. So it's like, it is what it is, but I
Yeah,
try.
well, for
Yes.
sure. Do you know if there's any how your service may differ from other groomers that you're aware of?
Yes. I frequently get asked, well, what are your add-ons? I don't have add-ons. Your price will include the bath with a high quality shampoo. It will include conditioner if needed. It will include an ear cleaning. It will include nail dremeling. It will include me taking a look at your dog's anal sacs if needed. And then the groom that I can do to the best fit the desired look. We use high quality products on all of our dogs. If your dog is a German Shepherd, I'm going to give your dog the best shampoo to get the best bang out of your buck. And it's going to be for one flat rate. A lot of
Mm,
shops in town do a German Shepherd is X amount of dollars, and then you can add on dremeling, and then you can add on a D-shed, and you can add on all of these things.
right.
Um, I'm just going to give you all of those things that your dog needs for one flat price, and I don't necessarily need to upcharge for any reason.
Sure. All in price.
All in
And then
price.
and then also cat grooming. Boom.
And then cat grooming, boom, done, same thing. Flat price. There's no
Right.
extra add-ons for that, not at all. The only extra add-on is that if you need to purchase some of the cat claws that are on hand, I don't usually put those in the price because not everybody needs them or wants them, but it's
Right.
definitely something that we have. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. What attracted you to this business?
When I was younger, I wanted to go into hair school. I love that side of my brain works really well, the creativity part.
Mhm.
I got my first dog. He was a border collie, and he was a very, very active boy. We went to a sports and leisure show, and he was in flyball, and we had a demo that day. So we did the demo flyball, and we went back to the table where the club that I was with were promoting it and trying to see if anybody else had dogs that they thought would have fun with flyball. And right across from us was a groomer. And that groomer put a big sheepdog down on that table, and she gave it a beautiful haircut. And I looked and I watched her do the whole thing for about 3 hours. And I was like,
Wow.
that's what I want to do. And 6 months later, I quit my job and I started as a bath brusher. And a year after that, I was a certified groomer.
Oh, that's awesome. It's not that often that you hear people share a story like that where it's like, that's the thing. That's it.
That's it. It's hair. It's fun. I love animals. My job is the same, but it's different every day.
Sure.
I really enjoy that. I love being able to helping animals is huge for me. And I guess people are like, oh, you don't really help them. You just give them haircuts. It's like, well, who else is going to do it? So
Well,
I
and
am
like
helping.
legitimately, lots of times they leave feeling much better than they came
Oh,
in.
absolutely, 100%. I can't count the number of times where I've taken, this old senior dog who's got mats from
Right.
nose to tail, and I take all that off, and that dog gets a bath, and he gets back in that kennel, and he stretches because he can, and
Right.
and for me, that is worth the whole day. That's good, right?
Yeah,
He's going
because
home feeling better.
well, for sure. And then you see like they have like a new lease on life
Oh,
sometimes where
they're a
you're like,
little
oh my
perky.
gosh, this dog
Yeah,
is like completely different. And like
yeah,
that is a huge thing to provide for
yeah.
a dog. So you're definitely doing a really great work there. And I'm happy that we have you in our community.
Oh, it always makes me smile when people are like, "Well, she perks up so well after her haircut. She prances around." In my head, I'm like, "Cause she feels better,
Yes.
because her nails are shorter,
Right.
because she can see where she's going. Yeah, she's gonna feel better and show it off. Girl, show it off. Look at she looks good. It's good."
Well,
So
and who doesn't
I
feel better after a day at the
right,
spa? Come on.
right. Oh.
Is there anything else you wanted to share about your business or in general?
I think in general, I think we are a very friendly shop. I think I know I am a very busy shop. A lot of people call, hey, can I get my dog in on Tuesday? No, I can't. I have no room on Tuesday. A big thing for me and my shop is getting people to pre-plan ahead,
Yeah.
especially for my busy seasons. I know we've struggled to get Derek's and yours when we haven't pre-booked them. It's like, shoot, everybody needs to be done. So that is huge. I think people need to realize that it takes 2 to 3 hours to cut a dog's hair. And your average human hairdresser usually only does about 6 to 7 clients, and my shop will do about 12 to 13 dogs a day.
Well,
So
yes, and that and like sometimes once you get in the habit of consistently booking, there's no delay, right? But if you're going to
no,
go to like just, hey, I need to get my dog groomed like tomorrow, it's been too long. You're like, oh, I can't facilitate that. It's the
I
same with
can't
me, right?
facilitate
Like
that. Yeah,
I'm booking like 3 weeks in advance, and it's like you could find someone sooner, I'm sure,
yeah,
but it's not necessarily going to be the end
better
result
or
that you
good.
want.
Yeah.
Um,
And I struggle with that. People are like, "Oh, well, that doesn't work. So I guess I'll call you next time, and I'll take them where I can." And I hear that, and I'm like, "Oh no," right? Especially
yeah,
if it's a dog that I've done a few times, and it's hard. And then I feel like I need to stay at work until 7:30 or 8 o'clock to accommodate that, and that's not fair to my children or my pets or my
or
family.
you
So or me, right? Like I would like to not be there 24/7. I love my job, but I also like my home life. So
for
so
sure.
I would like people to maybe think about that. If you see your dog's getting fuzzy, call. If it's gonna be spring soon, call. If Christmas is coming, call. It makes a difference for your dog and for your sanity.
For sure. Okay, awesome. I thank you again for taking this time with me, and I hope you have a great night and enjoy some downtime for yourself.
Perfect. Thanks, Derek. Have a good night.
You as well.
Okay, bye bye.